introducing into Queensland. They're saying, "Oh, we need to move on from the C19." But what we're going to do is we're going to empower citizens by giving them this system where they can be responsible for their own health, and we're going to give them a green code when they do the right thing. That is conditioning you for slavery.
That's why I want to bring up this topic of surveillance that's increasing in our world. I don't know if you're familiar with the new weaponized and militarized camera AI system that's being put out on the borders of Palestinian territories in Israel that we mentioned in the monologue is shooting munitions with sensory control to actually fire non-lethal munitions. Does this trend and move towards extreme surveillance, weaponized cameras, does this alarm you?
Yes, it should alarm any sane person. I saw that footage that you're talking about earlier this month, I think, and I just can't understand how people walk through there knowing that that's there. I mean, I would simply refuse to go anywhere near this, and I would stand against it until we got to the point where this stuff was removed. But the problem is that people are lazy, Elijah. We live in a world where people would just rather go along with whatever the government says and get on with it and think that, I'll just have some sort of semblance of normality if I just listen and go along, and eventually they'll leave me alone. No, these people don't plan on leaving you alone. These people want to hurt you. And if the past 2 years isn't evidence of that, then I don't know if there's any helping you. But again, here we are. The same people that were warning you 2 years ago are warning you again, and we're not going to give up because, my whole thing is I want to reach more people. I want to try and witness me walking past a stranger, interacting with a stranger out there in the real world and not trying to red pill every single person I meet, Elijah, because at the end of the day, the people that are standing against this are the people that actually care for humanity. And we're not lazy, and we don't just go along with whatever the government says for the sake of just getting along with it. As you've seen, they will lie to you time and time again. Oh, well, this surveillance is just for this. What you're talking about, this example, but it won't go any further than that. That's nonsense. They always take it further. They see how far they can push people, and then they keep pushing. China's a perfect example of that. We have people now, I was just reporting on this recently, people that were protesting and standing against the lockdowns because they continue to lock millions of people up. Many people don't know what's going on over there. Millions upon millions of people are constantly in lockdown, being denied essential medication. They're dying in their homes. They're starving. It is the most disgusting human rights atrocities that are happening over there that you can imagine, right? And so people were either protesting or trying to warn people on social media, and they shut down one of their main forms of communication as part of their social credit punishment, right? So then they were posting messages online saying, "Oh, please forgive me, please the government. I will never say anything bad about the government again. Just please let me get back online." This is the level of desperation that they have caused because these people are so oppressed that they will go back and beg their daddy government to forgive them. It's disgusting, but the reality is that most people will eventually get there. If you don't start practicing now to actively non-comply, then you're seriously screwed next time they try this on, and they will. You have my word.
I do agree with you on the implementing this again, because it was back in 2020. I know when I was first moving to Texas, we stopped in Arizona at the Grand Resort in Phoenix. And it was one of the first states to end the lockdowns, and there was a sense of relief. We actually left to Texas because we were trying to overcome the totalitarianism that was so rampant, and it still is in California and Los Angeles. When we got there, we were celebrating, we were excited. The stupid masks were taken off. We could go to a water park, stop acting like we were all mentally retarded, and that we had no ability to take care of ourselves, and we needed the state to dictate us. I think about 2 months later, they locked Arizona back down, and it became more stringent, more strict, more masks. I think they doubled up the masks. They recommended 2 now. And so we saw a quick shift from light at the end of the tunnel to complete lockdown. And people don't realize in China, across the country, they're already locking down another 8 million people, I believe, in Wuhan right as we speak, in zero tolerance, zero movement, where you're whipped, you are shamed, you are arrested if you actually go anywhere without a health pass. And these are the people screaming about fascism because, Mastriano, or one of our politicians, makes a joke that's, insensitive or racist. Meanwhile, real communism, real fascism, real police totalitarianism is taking place and was soft tested in these Western countries. I don't know why everybody's not alarmed, why people are not holding their leaders accountable, not having referendums and democratic recalls of their elected governors and their prime ministers, etc. I mean, this is something that I think that people need to realize can come back into place. It can snap back into action quicker than anyone could ever hope for or imagine, including with the digital ID system that is being implemented in Canada. What do you think about the digital ID system that they are now beginning to test out in Western crown colonies like New Zealand, Australia, and in Canada, as recommended by Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum?
Elijah, it's not that it can come back, it's that it will. And it's that next time when they do it, it will be infinitely worse because all of the systems that they're setting in place now are going to make it infinitely more difficult to not comply next time. For example, digital ID. Once everyone's hooked up to the grid of digital ID and their social credit scores are linked to their behavior and their behavior online and their behavior when they're outside, that is going to be a 24/7 prison. They are telling us that that humans are now hackable animals and that they can manipulate us. This is what Yuval Noah Harari, Schwab's lead advisor, says. These are words that leave these people's mouths. They think of you as a hackable animal. So if people don't start practicing independent thought and actually looking for ways to become independent and get out of this system, they're going to be caught in a decision where one day it's going to be, oh, well, if you don't get this, you can't buy or sell. So, and it's very, very much so heading in that direction. So Canada's not the only country that's trying the digital ID on. We've got a trusted digital ID bill here as well. And guess what's been happening, Elijah, over the past few months, pretty much on a weekly basis, we're getting cyber attacks. We've had our Department of our military system cyber attack. We've had our healthcare system endure a cyber attack. The major telecommunications provider in Australia, cyber attack. Over 9 million customers had their driver's license, their Medicare cards, and other personal information, including their passport, exposed. Or so they tell us, right? I don't believe any of this stuff because. And then they go and they say that the only solution to all of these cyber attacks and to protect your privacy with a digital system that's being digitally hacked is to move everything to a digital ID. I mean, that is the opposite of what we should be doing. We shouldn't be putting more of our data on these systems that are constantly being exposed to alleged cyber attacks. We should be doing less of that. But the majority of people won't use their brain for 2 minutes. They're too busy watching, I don't know, Married at First Sight or, My Kitchen Rules or whatever it is that they're doing every single night, or going out to the pub and getting blasted. So, Elijah, it's unless people really change their values and realize that, if you don't become active in this space, you are going to a digital prison and there's nothing that you can do about it. And next time when they tell you to comply, you won't be able to find ways around it because your compliance, you feeding your family, your children having access to healthcare, every single thing that you do in society right now will be shut off in a moment like it is in China. And they're already starting to condition us with this, with these green codes that they're introducing into Queensland. They're saying, "Oh, we need to move on from the C19." But what we're going to do is we're going to empower citizens by giving them this system where they can be responsible for their own health, and we're going to give them a green code when they do the right thing. That is conditioning you for slavery.
The dollar's lost almost 40% of its value or more over the last decade, depending on who you ask. In fact, the stock market is crashing so quickly, it feels like we're in 2008 all over again. Experts suggest that there's going to be a recession in store, which is why you need to act fast to protect your savings, your retirement, and to invest in your future with gold and silver from my friends at Goldco. Now, if you call 855-242-4758 right now, that's 855-242-4758, you can talk to them and you can find out how you can get up to $10,000 in free silver. Now, over the last several decades, gold and silver have not only retained their value, they've went up 1,000, 2,000% or more. And the most important part is that when you invest in gold and silver, you're getting something physical for your value, not these numbers that change or digital earmarks that can completely be deleted when the economy collapses. This is hard gold and silver and a way to invest in your future. You can't control gas prices, you can't even control food prices, but you can control where you put your investments and savings. Click the link in the bio right now, fill out the form and contact them, or call 855-242-4758 and find out how my friends at Goldco can help you hedge against the future and protect yourself from what might be in store. Invest in gold and silver with my friends at Goldco in one of the best decisions that you can make of your life. Call 855-242-4758 or click the link in the description. Again, call 855-242-4758. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect yourself and your savings.